Hey there, welcome to this week's video blog. Today we're going to show you how to transplant shrub.
So the first thing you want to consider when you're transplanting a shrub is how you're going to move around the plant so that you can get in with your shovel or your nursery spade. And we like to tie up the plants so that we have room to walk around and get around the plant easily, so we're not bumping up against other shrubs or trees. So we tie a knot like this with a loop in it, and you can either tie it to a branch first, or you can just lasso the whole thing if it's smaller. Just bring it right in and around. Feed the rope through with a sisal. You can use whatever rope you have laying around and just cinch it together. Just tie it off. And you'll be ready to start with your shovel.
So we have our plant tied up. The next step is to take this shovel. This is a nursery spade. It's meant specifically for this. You can see it's all metal, so it won't bend. If you use a wooden shovel, it could snap on you, so we like to use these. But what you want to do is take the shovel and you want to go straight down and not pry yet, because you don't want to break the plant quite yet, and then take it out and just go all the way around the plant doing this. One thing to consider is you always want a pretty large root ball when transplanting a plant. You got to remember you're cutting the roots, and so the plant's going to go into shock. So you want to get as much roots as possible when doing this. So here we are, we have it popped. As you can see, the new root ball, it got a little bit closer. It was out here before. Sometimes with plants you can't avoid it depending on which plant you get. Some root better than others, so you can get a better root ball out of them. The Japanese holly tends to be kind of tough on that aspect. It is hard to get a good root ball on it, but this root ball is still large enough. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, and we're going to put it on some burlap, and we'll show you that next.
So we have our Japanese holly on our burlap, and this is pretty simple. You're just going to grab opposite corners of the burlap, bring them together, and tie them into a simple knot. Other side. There you go. Now you've got the root ball nice and tight, and if you need to move it, you can grab them by the handlebars now that you've created with the knots.
So before we plant our Japanese holly, we want to show you this. We have a rhododendron here that we've already cut out. We've already taken the steps to pop it. It's just sitting in the hole, but the problem here is that we can't do it by hand. This is very clay-filled soil, so this root ball, although not too large, it's probably somewhere around 500 pounds, something like that. So what we have is the John Deere, and we're going to show you how we take out the shrubs that are too large for us to do by hand.
have our burlapped Japanese holly where we want it to be. Next step is we're going to dig the hole. You want to dig it twice as wide as where the plant is. That'll give you room to move it around if needed. So we'll catch up to you when we have our hole dug. We want to make sure that we have the correct depth. So you want to check the depth of the root ball. You wouldn't want to bury it too high or too low. So we can go ahead. We're going to take the burlap off. We'll get it in the hole. We'll get it positioned. This would be a good time if you wanted to add some type of fertilizer, some plant tone or roots. You can mix it in with the backfill. Check the bags for the suggested amount. This particular soil we had this amended previously, so we don't have to add any fertilizer, but if you wish to do so, now would be the time. So we'll go ahead, we'll get this in the hole and get it backfilled. So we have our plant in the ground. Thing to keep in mind is plants will go into shock after they're transplanted, so you want to water it as quick as possible. You put a well around the base of the plant to hold some water in. That way it can get firmly rooted. If you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to post them on the blog. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. From all of us here, the Garden Continuum, thanks for watching.